Joe, you guys returned to the Bronx, and you had a really good feel about your team. That road trip, how big of a turning point was that for you? It's an early season, but a turning point for this team.
I think it was really important because we did not play well the first homestand. We ended up 2-4, and we were 1-4 when we faced the Red Sox on that Sunday night and had a big offensive explosion. But we just weren't playing well. And we went to Baltimore, won the first game, and lost 2. And then we had a day off, and the guys kind of seemed to regroup, and we put it all together in Tampa. We got a big night from Alex. We got a big night from Brian McCann. Our pitchers threw well. The bullpen was good. And we just carried it over to Detroit, where we played extremely well.
Now, one thing I had talked to you about in the beginning of the season was the defense, and if you could explain why they weren't clicking there. What happened? What changed over the couple games where it seemed as though they got a lot better?
Well, I think they just became themselves. I'm not sure who they were. We had some imposters out there playing defense, and things just kind of got back to normal. And, you know, the biggest thing I worry about at the beginning of the year is anxiety. Guys are anxious to get going, and you worry that they're going to try to do too much, or there's just some nerves, and everyone wants to get off to a good start. And you have to understand it's a really long season. And you're going to have streaks where you don't play well, and you just got to get through them. Don't panic, and things will work out.
You look at that game Wednesday in Detroit against David Price. To get to that type of pitcher, I know last time you faced him, it was a similar situation. But in those conditions, with the way you had been playing in Tampa, to get to that type of pitcher, do you think that told your team a little bit of something about themselves?
I did, and it provided a lot of excitement for our club because he's one of the best pitchers in the league. And it was difficult conditions. It was extremely cold. It was windy. There were snow flurries. And he just couldn't seem to grip the baseball. He didn't have his command. He couldn't use his breaking ball. And our guys took advantage of it. And then Adam Warren, after about a 40-minute top of the first, came out and had some of the same issues, but he righted the ship. And I thought it was important that we bounced back and got 2 runs, I think, in the top of the second to give us a 4-run cushion, and then our pitchers took over.
Joe, what's going through your mind if you're Adam Warren? Yes, you want to see the runs, but it's 30-some degrees outside, and you're sitting there in the dugout trying to stay warm.
You know, it's kind of a catch-22 because you want to see the runs, but you don't want to see your pitcher sit for too long because they lose their rhythm, and he hadn't been out there yet. And the balls were slick, and I was concerned. You know, he got ahead. Anthony goes 0-2, and then he ended up walking him, and then it became kind of a concern for me is, you know, is he not going to have that feeling in his hands? But as I said, he seemed to right the ship after the first inning.